And welcome everybody, it's Dan. Hope you're well today. It is a Monday, I think. I'm so confused over what day it is. Been working very hard all weekend because we're on about the business growth show. Our business is just flying at the moment, which is really cool. But boy, it's taken a lot of work and a lot of effort to just to get everything in place. And so we're working a lot of hours, and we're also hiring again, which is also nice. We all seem to be hiring somebody for something, but that's very good. But it also very, very relevant, I thought, to talk about building teams around your business growth, because that's exactly what we do in my business. And sometimes it's obvious what to do, I think, and then other times I think it's really not obvious, and I think it's really hard. So I just wanted to kind of cover that off and hopefully answer some of those questions as to what we're doing that might kind of inspire you or give you an idea about what you can do in your own business as well. So first up, let's talk about the delegation of tasks. This is really, really important. So what tends to happen in most businesses is that a business owner goes, "Oh no, but you don't understand, only I can do this as well as I can do this," right? And actually, that might even be true. Let's pretend for 1 second that you're absolutely the only person on this planet that can actually do that. Let's just pretend that for 1 second. Is it true, though? It's not. It's really not true, is it? But even if it was true, there are only so many things that you can do, right? You've got the same 24 hours that every person has in that day, right? We're on a 24-hour clock. Unless you kind of traveling at the speed of light and you're slowing speed down, it's just impossible, right? So you've only got so much energy and so much time to fit in. So then it's like, well, what are you really good at? What are you not really good at? What are you good at, but you still need to delegate out? And so, for example, normally I would schedule some of my content. We've got another person that does it for us. But I'm like, it's just taking me so much time because we've got so much content going out. You know, we've got live streams, we've got short videos. And actually, it's a really bad use of my time, because scheduling content is a what I would term as a low value task. It's not going to change the world, but it has to be done. It has to be done right. It has to be done properly. And so I should really be delegating that task. It's like video editing. I used to love video editing. And was I good at it? Probably not. But now we've got our video editors, and I keep telling myself off, Dan, you've got the video editors, use them. And I keep thinking, but, you know, they're for our clients. But really, I'm my own client as well. We still have content that has to go out. So now we pass all that stuff over to our video editors, and they go out and get it done as well. But that's only because I have to delegate that out. And so you've got to work out what are the things that you really should be delegating, even if you are the best person for that job. I'll give you an example. We've got some interviews going out in the next couple of, let's say weeks. Let's just say weeks, just in case. But we've done 2 already. We've got another 2 happening this week. Now, I've actually not done them. But what I did do this morning, out of one of those videos, we ended up with 31 short videos. So I've gone into each one of those this morning, and I've double-checked it. Now, this is very time consuming, took me an hour and a half this morning. There is no way, if we're doing 2 or 3 video interviews every single week, that I've got an hour and a half per video interview to spend on that. So I'm going to have to teach someone how all that works and how I want it to look, and to make sure the English is correct and that the subtitles are correct and all the rest of it. And that even the subject matter is appropriate subject for the conversation to be spoken about. So I'm going to have to delegate that task, even though I am probably the best person for that. But as I say, this is the problem. There's only one of me, and even though I might be the best person for that, I can't do that, right? My job should be much higher up, looking at, where we're going to find the next people to interview from, who are our affiliates selling to, who are customers, how's their stuff going. So there's a billion and one different things for us to do. So we have to delegate the task, right? And I get that for most people, this is kind of where they struggle with this concept of, just being able to hand it off to somebody else. Oh, but only I can do this. It's such a limiting belief. And actually, this is probably why your business is kind of stumbling a little bit at this growth period in time. If it is stumbling, it's because you've got an inability of letting go, right? And I totally get the inability to let go. I am like that myself. But then this is where we turn to taking responsibility. If I hand over the scheduling of my content to one of our team members, which is happening this morning, as soon as I come off this, I'm off to double check the content he's scheduled to make sure it's correct, then I'm taking responsibility for my own stuff, because I'm then going to look, okay, did you do it? Did you do it right? This is what you've done right. This is what you've done wrong. This is the time that you can spend to improve it, or this is what you need to do next time to make this a little bit better. Where have you got those hashtags from? Where's the images come from? Where's the text come from? And so this is about me and you, by the way, but me taking responsibility for showing this person how to do it, and not only showing them how to do it, but actually, have you done it properly? And if you haven't done it properly, then that's my responsibility. It's not theirs. Okay? So this is the problem that I see a lot of people do. The problem that people make is that they hand something off and they go, okay, this is how you do it, off you go. And then they don't check back in with that person to make sure they're doing it right, or even that mentally they're in a good place and they even know what they're doing, they're not just guessing. How many times have you started a job somewhere and they go, right, just go do this, and you don't know what you're doing, right, because no one's actually taught you, and then they come back and then you've done it wrong because no one told you, and then you get yelled at because you've done it wrong because they didn't tell you, right? That happens all the time. And that's a lack of responsibility for them. So if my scheduler gets this wrong, and we're just teaching a new guy up to do this scheduling, but if they get it wrong, it's not that he's to blame and it's not that I'm to blame either, but it is my responsibility for ensuring that they have actually got it correct. And that bit is really, really important. You can't just hand off to someone and go, there you go, sort that out, and then come back without any kind of responsibility at all, and then complain when things actually go a little bit wrong. Which then, and all of these, by the way, are all kind of led into each other, aren't they? Taking responsibility, taking time to teach. Like, this bit is so, so important. We're just watching Below Deck at the moment. Very funny TV programme on Prime. And one of the things we love about Captain Sandy, she's on a luxury yacht and she's the captain, but she teaches. And she takes responsibility and she gives feedback as well, interestingly, and she delegates tasks, right? But she does it in a way that she teaches. And if you're not taking that time to teach, then what are you doing? Why are you leaving this person just to go off and do it on their own? They might be degree educated in content scheduling, okay? But if they're not scheduling the content how I want the content to be scheduled, how are they scheduling the content? Where does the strategy for that content that's being scheduled, where's it coming from? Is it coming from university? If a degree educated, and how old and out of date is that information? So you've got to take time to teach how you want things to be done, not just how things are. Because this is one of the big stumbling blocks for me in growing my business is I go, well, this is what it looks like. Off you go and do it. And these people are more than capable of implementing it, but they don't know how I want it to be implemented. And you might go, well, Dan, maybe you're always wrong. And you're right, maybe it is. But that's for me to make those mistakes. And it's for me to teach the people that I want it done in this way. And if it's wrong, then I'll change the way that I want it to be done. But this is how you stand out in business. And this is kind of a continual learning point for me. Every time I've gone in my own direction and done it my way, no, don't do it that way. I know that's how you've always done it, but I want it done in this particular way. every time I've gone and done that, I've been more successful than just relying on the person to use their existing knowledge. The combination of their existing knowledge plus the way that I want things to be done, that's where the gold is right there. And if my business is failing in any way, it's because I'm not actually pushing that more. Yes, you've got all this information, and yes, I agree, that's a very valid point. That's still not how I want you to do it. I want you to do it in my particular way. And that is about you then taking that time to teach. And then just finally on this, this bit is like it's like a loop, isn't it? You take responsibility, you take time to teach, they then go and implement. Then it's down to you to double check what they've done and go and provide feedback. Hopefully it's positive, but also sometimes it's not positive. And so it's like, you've done it wrong. That's not how I explained to go do it. It's in that video. Go rewatch the video and go and learn how to redo it because you've not listened to what I said before. That's it. There's no getting upset. There's no swearing. There's no, there's nothing, right? There's just instructions. You've not followed the instruction. You've got that wrong. Please go review it and redo it, and then we'll get it right. And sometimes you got to be nice, and sometimes you got to be not nice. So, if I'm in basketball, if you're defending a big player in basketball and they're sitting on you and your arms out, you're feeling them and they're feeling you. But as soon as you step away, they fall over, right? It's called pulling the chair in basketball. This is what you got to do with staff. The staff have to know where can they sit, right? And if you pull the chair away from them, and without giving feedback, it should be a to and fro. They should be sat comfortably on you. And it's the same kind of thing when you're giving feedback. You don't want them to think everything's perfect, even if they get it wrong, because there are consequences to getting shit wrong, right? I think we can all agree that there are definitely consequences when you get something wrong. And you can't allow them to think, oh, well, it's fine if I just get something wrong. And I feel like this with kids. Kids are not perfect, and I'm not perfect. If I get something wrong with HMRC, do you think the HMRC are like, oh, it's fine, don't worry, here's feedback, here's how it works? No, there's consequences. And I'm not saying that you have to give bad consequences, but you have to give positive and negative feedback if that person's not done the task that you've explained clearly, correctly. Now, sometimes it could be that you've not actually done your job properly, and then you also have to take responsibility for the fact that they were unable to learn the task properly because you've not given it properly, right? So we're back to taking responsibility again. So these three items here, the taking responsibility, taking time to teach, and then providing feedback, all those are the same part of the same function. They're all part of the same loop. Taking responsibility, taking time to teach, providing feedback, taking responsibility because it's gone well or it's gone bad, then taking time to teach so they've got an opportunity to correct, and then providing yet more feedback. In NLP, we would call that sensory acuity, by the way. And so when you're growing your teams, you do delegate the tasks. Then you've got to take responsibility. You've got to teach them how to do it. Then you've got to provide feedback. And then the task might have changed slightly because you've taught them wrong. And then you take more responsibility, you take more time to teach, and then you start providing feedback. So it's just a really simple loop. The problem is that I think that most people just go, here, I need this doing, off you go and go do it. Or they teach them for 5 minutes without understanding that the teaching aspect of this is a continuous process. It's not just something that you do once. It is a continual process. I'm in communication with all my team members on a continual process, teaching them how I want stuff to be done. All right, I hope that's useful. We'll catch up with you on the next one. My name's Dan Latto. Have a wicked day. Take care.